world of YouTube. Stepping aside from true crime with Tale for Sight. I want to do a movie review. I don't know how many people have seen this, but I highly recommend it. This, I'll tell you something, man. Every time I watch this movie, I get emotional. Like, man, this movie hits home. Even though it is kind of cornballish in ways, uh, even though I can say, a guardian angel coming down and being able to, make cars from a junkyard, which is what happens in this movie. And can make people trip, fall, whatever the case may be. I mean, other than that, this movie shows true morals, and it gives you a very warm feeling about having a sucky life. I mean, it covers everything from death to bullying to learning to move on from a loved one that has passed away. And, most importantly, learning morals in life. And, you gotta see this movie to get the full, vision of it. And, it's about a guy who gets an assignment. There's hell, there's midtown, and there's uptown. And only one can imagine what uptown is. But this guy was not ready for uptown. As the guy tells the main character, Bobby, which is, mind you, takes place in like the 1950s with drag racing. He's got action in it. He's got a little action. It's got a little bit of everything in it. It's just a down-to-earth, awesome movie, and I believe it's underrated. I believe it didn't. I could say it didn't. If it didn't take off as big as it did, was because of the guardian angel. Yeah, guardian angel. Garden angel. Oh man. Because what the guardian angel was able to do. And I think what really did it was the, he makes a 1957 Chevy come back to life. Then he's driving it, ripping it up in the town. And he's even riding a bike. And there's this one old gentleman that catches this a couple times. He's must be Japanese type thing, right? Busting on the Japs. But this is got so much morals in it. That's all I can say. Like I say, I get emotional when I watch this movie. It's just the way, man, how the guy Bobby portrays, being cool. And even if you ain't cool, you can make yourself cool. And that's what he does for this young kid. And, of course, this young kid, his assignment is always bullied. Trying to get the pretty girl, but turns out she's just a big, dirty girl, you should say. I can't, say them dirty words or it won't be. But she's like a dirty girl, you can tell. And And this is set back in the time of the 1980s, of course, where my generation, I'll tell you, man, I'm not trying to rag on anybody of the future or even the millennium kids, because, yeah, when times have changed, so didn't upbringing. And kids today, I tell you, man, I'm sorry. A lot of kids today, and when I see them, man, it just makes me very sad. They ain't got them street smarts. And I mean, here we have a kid in this movie, one of the other main character, I forget his name, but I'll just call him the assignment. I mean, he's always getting picked on. He's always feeling down, and that's what the assignment's about. He feels unwanted. And even the character Bobby's telling him, oh, he's a square. What they used to call people back in the day in the 50s. He's a square. But if he wants to get to uptown, he's got to do his job. He's got to make this kid, feel good about himself. But of course, Bobby's reputation brings this kid in a little messy ordeal. Oh, man. And right. Kind of almost ends up the same way Bobby did. But I'm not revealing nothing. You got to watch the movie. It's right now free on YouTube. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm not ashamed. I felt like this kid in this movie when I was younger. And I'll tell you something, man. And I think that's why I get emotional with it, because I, too, was like this kid at one point in time. And I have collected old pictures. Before my mother and father passed away, I was going through them all. And yeah, the way I used to dress, and back in the day, and then I started to transform myself, of course, when I went to the 6th grade, into like a heavy metalist is what I call myself. Because I was into music, I was into all this, but I needed to find myself, and after many years of trying to figure myself out, it all came out in the end, But I did, man. I felt like this kid, and I related with it. And that's what this movie's about. Teaching, people in life. You don't have to... Well, it also teaches you don't have to change to be somebody you're not. You don't have to be cool, the way the world expects you to be. Or back in them days. Even today, you got kids that follow other kids. Trends that follow other trends. And that's what it is, man. Everybody got to follow something. And that's what makes me different. Is I don't follow trends. I don't follow styles. I mean, I do kind of follow back to the 80s style. Because that's where I mainly grew up in. Don't get me wrong, I was also from the 70s. I do remember a lot back in that time. But I love my concert shirts. I love my skull shirts. I love my jeans. Acid washed, whatever it takes. I mean, I kind of follow that trend, but, it's in my way, how I put it. And I can tell you right now, when I do go walk into a store or something, I mean, I get looked at like, what the And I even had a person that I used to grow up with, I was talking to at one point, and she's like, oh God, you're the poster child for the 80s. I'll never leave them years. I'll never change, even if I was to make it big. You ain't gonna find me in no stylish suits. You're gonna find me looking nothing like a proper person. I dress the way I like. I represent what I like. And this movie teaches you that. I mean, yeah, the kid does go out buy a new wardrobe, but with that wardrobe and his new looks came an attitude. And the main thing in this movie is the Bobby, the main character, talking about always, I got it covered, which he didn't. Because when you see in the movie what happens, he had nothing covered. I mean, no, I don't dress to look cool. I dress to represent an era, a time. And if the cool comes along with it, well, hey, I can't do nothing about that. But this movie teaches you that you really don't need to be cool. Even though if you can, get a little speck out of it, right? But you don't really need to change yourself just to make people like you. And there is a girl thing in this movie. Once, like I said, one's the dirty girl, and then the kid's got another girl that likes him. And right there, as I speak of this other girl that liked him, that is where in my life, from when I was a kid up until this point. And call me goofy, call me what you want. I don't care. But right there, when I watched that scene of this girl talking about this dirty girl to the guy, and they used to always hang out, I guess. They were always hanging out, doing things with each other or whatnot, sitting at lunch. He wanted this other girl because, she's one of them, dressed up, smoking hot-looking girls from the 80s. And the other one was, sort of nerdy. And of course, this kid was a little nerdy. Mind you, he plays another good role in Iron Eagle with Louis Gossett Jr. The kid had his tape recorder, flying in the Air Force, and Louis Jr., I can't say that name quick, used to yell at him, get them headphones out of your ears. But when he found out that and that's another movie I want to do a review on, but when he found, Louis Gossett Jr. found out he did better flying with the music in his ear, and that was one of the best, one of my favorite Queen songs, One Vision, that came out. He played a great, role in that movie, that kid did. And he's also in The Heavenly Kid. And put another screenshot I put up too. We never close. This is when he finds out he's dead, the Bobby guy. But man, I recommend this movie. Highly recommend this movie. And what I was saying about the girl is that when I saw that in the film, that girl liked him that way, meaning in relationship way. I put it in the back of my mind, and this is how I used to always think, but, it set the hammer down on the nail. I was like, wow, you know what? For me to find me a nice girl, I guess, I gotta wait till find that right girl that wants me, that tells me. And that's what I did. And then came along my wife. She was the first one that came to me with the LOVE. And I was like, woo. And 25 years later, I always made it a point, right? And this is what this movie taught me. You can be cool, but don't forget about the people around you, Or you can just change a little bit. And, you still do your life and your thing. But to change erratically like this kid did and started getting the old attitude, I got it covered. I mean, you don't want to go changing that route, because that's where it led the Bobby character. Didn't lead him in a good place. But you gotta watch the movie to find out that. And like I say, this movie, man, gets me emotional because it kind of represents my life. So I had to, do a review on this movie. I've been meaning to. And when I found out it was free, I was like, oh yeah. And then I took these screenshots and I was like, yep, I know I gotta do it because it represents me in some ways. And like I said, I love this movie so much. It also reminds me of another 80s movie that I gotta do a review on, Electric Dreams. And that one, it just type of, goofy guy type thing, which I do have kind of a side of. I don't bring it out much. But, hey, I try to do it. But in this world of these times, you really can't show sides like this. Because once you show your weakness, then comes out the monsters. But I recommend everybody watch this movie. Check it out. It's free on YouTube. And, what was I going to say? Shoot. Brother. Mom. Okay. Anyways, check it out. Good movie. Good morals in life, kids. Recommend it. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. You don't want to end up like Barbie in this movie. Because attitude sometimes, and that's what it is these days. That's what it is, and I'll end it here. A lot of people these days got that cocky attitude. Got that flamboyant, nasty, oh man, yeah, I got it covered. Oh yeah, right. You just mind your business. Oh yeah. You know what? No one's got nothing covered. Life is what you get out of it. And if you're too cocky in life, you end up like Bobby. You gotta have morals. That's the way life should be. Not chaos, violence, and all this other horse crap that rolls along with the universe, let alone the world. Be safe, everybody. Take care. Out.